Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Disney Resorts podcast. My name's Kenny Hayes, and unfortunately this week, we are going to have a shortened episode. Walter could not be with us today. A pretty funny story. Walter and I tried taping several days ago, and for about an hour and a half, we struggled with poor internet in our area, and we had some technical difficulties. So about an hour and a half of trying to tape our newest episode, unfortunately, we had to call it quits. And with our work schedules, and actually, by the time you view this shortened episode, Walt will be at Walt Disney World. So during his trip, we hope to bring you as much as possible on our Instagram page, and maybe we have something a little special set up, possibly. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. But so this week, I am going to be doing the show solo. And as I just said, it's going to be a shortened episode. A lot of the itinerary that we had planned, we're going to hold off to our next episode, which would be July 3rd, Sunday, July 3rd, at our usual 8 a.m. But without further ado, we have some resort news I wanted to go over with you. So, coming out of the Polynesian Resort, Disney has recently announced that the Kona Cafe will be closing on August 15th for what I think to be probably a spruce up, a small refurbishment. Disney announced that sometime later in September of this year, Kona Cafe will be opening. So if you're booking a trip somewhere between August 15th and the end of September, and you're either staying at the Polynesian or you're a Kona Cafe fan, just take that into account that will not be available. Disney also just recently came out with news over at Caribbean Beach that the themed pirate rooms will be discontinued beginning in 2023. There is no start date at this time. I stayed in a pirate room years ago. It was actually, we stayed over at Old Key West, and we actually had flight cancellations, and we went back to Disney for 2 days. And the final 2 days, they accommodated us at Caribbean Beach, and we had the pirate rooms. And I got to say, especially for children or, Pirates of the Caribbean fans, it's really cool. The theming is really good, but it was not the most comfortable bed. And if you're tall, somebody like me, if you're tall, you're going to have issues with it, with leg room at the end, because of you're literally, the bed is inside a ship. So if you are a Caribbean Beach fan and a Pirates themed room fan, I would suggest to you to book that somewhere in the next 6 months, because in 2023, those rooms will be discontinued. And we have an update on the Disney minivan service. Disney recently announced that beginning June 29th, Disney will resume minivan service at the Walt Disney World Resort. Now, at the time of taping, there are reports coming out now that there's, if you want to call it a soft opening, the minivan service is now technically, I guess you would call it, available. People have been posting on the internet that they've been able to use it to and from the resorts. It looks like, I believe when the minivan service opened in 2017, I think it was a $20 flat rate, and people were posting that rate is now somewhere around $24 and change. But like I said, at the time of taping, there is a soft opening for the minivan service, but it will officially return to Walt Disney World on June 29th. And one more thing before we wrap up this special limited edition, hopefully the one and only solo show. Disney also recently announced that its famous Victoria and Albert's over at the Grand Floridan Resort will be opening once again on July 28th. You can RSVP starting on June 20th. Now, let me bring it up on my screen here for a minute. I have never eaten at Victoria and Albert's. I know even before the closure of the pandemic, it was very expensive, but also people said it was very classy, very elegant. The food was outstanding. I know it's won some major awards, but for a lot of us out there, it's kind of out of our price range, especially when you look at the pricing per person. So I have Victoria and Albert's up on the actual Disney website, so I'll read some stuff off to you here. Give me 1 second while I pull it up. So here's the pricing, and I am not versed on Victoria and Albert's because I've never eaten there, and because of the pricing, I've never really looked into it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, leave us something in the comments below. It says right here, for the pricing, although subject to change, the prefix menu begins at $295 per guest. Wow. Optional wine pairings start at $150 per guest. Zero proof pairings start at $110 a guest. So what I would like to know from the listeners out there, if you're watching this over on YouTube, let us know in the comments below. Victoria and Albert's pre-COVID, was it a prefixed menu? I'd love to know because I honestly don't. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm trying to think of the right words here. I'm looking at it. So basically call it $300 per guest for the prefixed menu. I'm going to have to say the ambiance and how elegant it could be. I don't know if it would sell me for a $300 price tag per point. Is it on my Disney bucket list? Yes, I'll admit it. It's on the bucket list. I think I'd like to try it one time. And I think a part of me is scared of trying it one time because what happens if I really like it? And then I'm like, well, each and every trip I want to now do it. I don't know if I want to pay that $600 price tag or above, depending on, how many family members we have going. What else do we have here? So the age requirement, there is an age requirement for Victoria and Albert's. Guests ages 10 and up are welcome to dine at Victoria and Albert's. Now, here's a good one for you. Cancellation policy. If your plans change, please cancel your reservation at least 5 days in advance. To cancel, you got to contact Disney by phone or via email. A $100 per person cancellation fee will apply for cancellations within 5 days. The full price. Now, here's a good one for you. The full price will be charged for no-shows or cancellations within 24 hours of your reservation. So if you have a party of just say 4 and something comes up and you do not cancel, within that last 24 hours, you will be charged, whoever the reservation is under, where you got to put your credit card in, that'd be $300 a person. You're looking at a $1,200 cancellation fee for this place. I understand it's limited. It's excellent. People rave about it. I'll read you right off their site. Victoria and Albert's is the winner of the prestigious AAA 5 Diamond Award every year since 2000 and the Forbes Travel Guide 5-Star Award. Victoria and Albert's is the premier restaurant at Walt Disney World Resort. Here you can dine. Here you can delight in contemporary American cuisine, splendid wine, and zero proof pairings, and a personalized service, all amid a setting of uncompromised elegance. Like I said, for me, it's a bucket list item. It's probably, if and when I ever do it, a one and done, or a one in every half a decade. but I'd love to know what you guys think about. So, let us know in the comments below on YouTube, or, shoot us a message over on our Instagram page, because Walter and I would love to know if you have ever dined here or you plan on dining here once it opens in late July. So, folks, I just wanted to give the news, some resort news that came out. And, Walter and I just want to thank you. Over the last several months, the downloads have been, we can't thank you enough. So each and every time, our downloads have more than doubled over the past month, and we can't thank you enough for all your support. So just make sure each and every time, if you're listening to our podcast on the audio side, make sure you hit that download button each and every time before listening. If you're over on our YouTube page watching the video side of this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. That allows you to be notified each and every time we publish something new. So, folks, that's going to wrap up this special edition, solo edition of the Disney Resorts podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back next time, Walter and I, for another episode. Take care, everybody.